Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J1999, your host and part of the RSG crew. Glad to have everybody here. If you're new and wondering what the hell is this right in front of us, this is our lunch stream. This is where we hang out with you wonderful folks for the next hour or so and bring you some fun stuff to listen to. We'll do a roster review. We'll answer questions. If you do have questions, go ahead and put the questions in now. Make sure you put the term question in front of your statement so we know that it is actual question. Just helps us scoop it up faster. And we will get to as many as we can, if not all the questions at the end of the stream, like we always do. I've brought along some of my favoriteest people for your listening pleasure. And let's get right into it and introduce everybody. We've got, of course, the troll extraordinaire, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman is here.
Howdy ho.
Howdy ho. Sure do smell like flowers today, Dr. Finn.
My hairstylist tried to get me to use lavender shampoo. I was
You should
no.
try poop.
No. I wasn't going to use lavender, and I'm not going to use poop.
It's luxurious and creamy.
Well, I can't disagree with either of those.
That's not very Christmassy of you, Dr. Finn.
It's Halloween.
Well, it's only 90 more days to Christmas. We gotta get the Christmas spirit going.
That be some grande math going on right now.
Grande Patron. Grande is French.
What's happening, everybody? It's 74 days till Christmas.
That's right. Time to sing songs.
74 days until Jedi Revan comes for the second time.
Yeah, everybody just tuned you out. Let's see how else we got here. We've got, of course, Mr. Gingivitis, the soulless one, sanely red.
Hey, it's Guess the Ginger Day today.
I know, I'm excited. Cannot wait to see what amazing ginger trivia you have for us today. And Sanely will be monitoring chat and scooping up your questions. Don't make him angry or I'll cut your toes off. Also here is, of course, the one and only Grim the Mechanic.
Can I tell you about the tragedy of CG the Unwise?
That's... Is it possible to learn this power? Not from a Jedi.
Not from EA Games.
Yes, it is only 19 days until Halloween. I get you. But it's only 79 more days till Christmas. Howdy ho! Alright, so let's get into it. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the thumbs up on the video. Helps us spread our content out there into the YouTube world. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Subscribe and just let you know when we're live streaming. We live stream quite a lot. I will be doing some more Battlefront today, I believe. Dr. Finn, any plans for you for any live streaming action going on today?
I may, depending how some of my meetings and stuff shape up. But there is a chance that there will be some Mega Man later today.
Okay. There we go. Also, if you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. Everything that we get from Patreon and YouTube goes right back into the channel. So if you'd like to support us that way, you can. In April of next year, 2019, we will be doing a half marathon charity run to raise money for the American Cancer Society. We have a GoFundMe for that. If you would like to help support us in this endeavor, please go check out our GoFundMe and help us reach our first goal, which is we've got a lot of the other stuff covered. We just have to get the travel expenses taken care of first. So if you would like to support us, to help us get down there so we can raise a buttload of money for cancer, please check out our GoFundMe. All right, so that being said, let's see how we have a roster review to do like we always do. And today we are doing another Dark Lord. I wonder how...
Imagine that.
Wait a minute, hold on here.
Before we get started, I just want to say I blame Finn for making me delete roads in my freaking Civilization game when I'm supposed to be speeding up troop movement. Darg.
Oh god, Finn, why would you listen
Didn't
to
he
Finn?
told you to delete the roads in your game?
Hey, roads are paved with evil.
And
Or
they
something.
and it makes your troops be able to get to your destinations faster and pawn your enemies. So yeah, that was a good call, Finn.
So does making your path in grass.
No, that's wrong.
You have a bulldozer. You should use a bulldozer and just make your own path.
Yeah, don't take it.
Then you can't just delete them.
Yeah, let's not take
roads are for pansies.
Tactical advice from Dr. Finn. Medical advice, maybe. Tactical advice,
if there's vines, your troops can climb through the trees and use the vines to swing from tree to tree.
No, that's wrong. But we've got Dark Lord Mors Angelus.
Awesome guy.
And looking at their roster here, they have a 3.1 GP. And what are they looking for today, Dr. Finn?
So Moores is kind of looking just for a general review. He wants to see if there's any weaknesses that you see in his roster where he could improve. And basically, he wants Grande to try and pick apart his roster.
Did he really say that?
He's in Dark Lord Rogues.
He's running a very, very interesting arena team.
Yeah, let me
Boba lead in the top 50. That's impressive.
Most
it's very impressive what he does with the roster. I have to go back to the roster review queue just for a minute because I'm not finding his roster, even though I'm sure I've got a better way I can find it. Here we go.
Let's just start filtering.
See, Doja-san is on my side. He says, you know who build roads? The devil, and he used them for walking. You see? I told you. Delete those roads. They're filled with evil.
Again, if you are listening to Finn, that was your first mistake.
This was Doja-san, not me. It was Doja-san.
Doja-san, if you are supporting Finn, refer to my previous statement about Finn. Therefore, you are also failing.
So I know he was working on getting Viagra Brothers for JTR. I think he made that happen, or he was really close.
Let's look. I'll pull up Scoundrels to see where his vets are. Vet Han, 85, Gear 9, 7-star. Vet Chewie, 7 stars, Gear 8. Do not put any more gear on them. Please, God, jeez, don't do it. Just they're fine where they are.
And so he did. He got Ray. Ray's at 7-star.
Oh, good. Okay.
Gear 7, 75. So he's working on. So now he's got Ray. So I knew that was something he was working on incredibly hard this time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he got it.
Got that. So I'm looking at his Scoundrels. Looks pretty good. Need to be farming that Bosk. Why is it going to Lando? I did not choose Lando. Go. Stop it, GG. Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah, without a doubt, Bosk a good character.
Yeah. Zeta is definitely worth it. So out of the bounty hunters, just get your boss 7 stars. Get ready for the
event.
7-star Chewbacca. Yeah, so when you get 7-star comes around for Chewbacca, you can just go in there and pwn it. Let's see here. Let's look at his resistance just in general. Let's just see how he's doing there.
I mean, he's doing great. He hasn't worked
really
on Rose
good.
Tico or Amelin Holdo. So
Yeah,
I mean, the team he's going to have the team for P1 for sure.
Got
when he gets
12.
JTR up there. Yeah, when he gets JTR up there, it'll be perfect.
You need the Zeta on BB-8. So next to Zeta is JTR lead and BB-8.
And I know already he's got a Chex Mix team. Heck, his Chex Mix team does better than mine. I think he's pushing.
A lot of people do better than you.
Yes, they do. But I'm just saying. I know he has Chex Mix because I think he's scoring 3 or 4 million with his Chex Mix team.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, whoa, that's awesome.
For people that don't know, Grande has everything, but is an idiot. So do not take advice from Grande either.
I'm not even kidding you. I was like, what did I do wrong last time I did a
Grande can break
Chex Mix run something.
Grande can break down mods and characters like no one else's business. But if you put the team together, Grande's like, so if I hit the shooty thingy, let's see what happens.
Do a basic.
Yeah, that's Grande's philosophy. Do a basic.
Let's see. Are there any other characters that we feel like?
Well, he's got the main ones, right? And so let's just go down the line. We saw bounty hunters. Let's just look at his Empire in general. Just see where his troopers are, things of that nature. We already know the 3 Zetas that he's got to get, right? We got to finish working on Bosk, and we got to get JTR gear and Zeta and BB-8 the Zeta. The BB-8's fine with gear. Oh, Empire looks fantastic. Really good.
Potentially finish off Nihilus, the 7-star. Got him at gear 12.
Oh, you went to Sith. I went to Empire. So Empire looks fantastic. Sorry. So that's fine. I'll go to Sith. Nihilus, Scion. We got to get those guys up. So you've got Trey at 5-star, gear 11 with the Zeta. You've got Palpatine with 2 Zetas and gear 12. So if we can get Nihilus, Scion done, you've already got Thrawn. You know, I didn't even look at what his nest was. I mean, you've got some possibilities to change up.
His nest is like. I think his nest is
gear 11.
Gear 11, which means he could potentially run it in arena. I mean, Nihilus does what he's supposed to do at gear 6. Nest does what she's supposed to do at gear 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, effectively. So, if he was trying not to run an uphill battle, he could run some non-7-star characters in his arena team.
Yeah, Nihilus is gear 11. Scion, we've got to get to gear 11. That's another priority. Because you can run Traya. I mean, you can run the Triumvirate. You can run Thrawn Nest. You can run Palpatine Thrawn. You can run Thrawn Nest. I mean, with those 3.
He does kind of like to run counter meta. I mean, this particular player likes to be kind of counter the meta. So we want to make sure that if that's. I mean, if he likes.
If you are, that's fine. Then run the CLS OG Han Chewbacca.
Well, let's just put this way. His Boba lead, it counters the meta. He's plunging real quick. Like when we first loaded up his sheet, he was at 58. I just went to look and did another filter, and now his arena rank is updated to 71.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hold. Counter teams don't hold. Traya holds.
I agree. Counter teams don't hold. You're absolutely right. So that is one.
The CLS can hold. Not as, but any team can beat any team if you know what you're doing in PvP, but some teams are a little bit harder than others, and people look at the level of your difficulty of your team and say, do I really want to dick around with this?
Yeah. Some teams you just don't want to leave on defense because somebody will look at and go, ooh, free climb.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Because killing that Boba Fett lead team is a lot easier than killing a Traya lead team.
Jedi look fine. He's got the Zed on Bears. That's the only Zed he has for Jedi, but it's not a big deal. But Hermit Yoda, where's Hermit Yoda? Where is Hermit Yoda? Well. We found something he needs to work on. Either you finish it.
He doesn't have Hermit Yoda, does he?
Does he have a Wampa that he's working on?
Yeah, his Wampa's on.
Yeah, his Wampa's gear 12.
I hope we are farming Hermit Yoda.
Me too.
So farm Yoda, you must.
Hermit Yoda and Boss.
Oh! Farm Yoda.
Yeah.
So let's get the Hermit Yoda farm going there, homie. Night Sisters, I think, is going to look great. Let's just check it out real quick. Yeah, very nice. Get your zombie to 10.
Yep.
Once you get past gear 8, I know it's a pain in the ass with that stun gun, but once you get past that, gear 9 to 10 is super easy. You just need some shower drains. A lot of the rest of it's just blue gear. Let's see here.
Really, this is a nice roster.
It's very nice. It's very, very nice.
He does very good. Very, very good. I agree. Wholeheartedly.
I mean, really, that's the only stuff I see that he needs to work on right now. I mean, his farming, he's pretty much on to work on Hermit Yoda, get JTR gear, get Scion gear, get the Zetas on BB-8, JTR, Scion for your arena team, Bosk. Those are 4 Zetas you need to work on. Get your zombie to gear 10.
And then your Old Republic.
How dare you?
And then Old Republic.
Hey, it's true. despite any anger and stuff,
Unfortunately,
you have to start preparing
it is
for
true.
Revan.
You
It
have
may
to
not be
talk
this
about
time
Old
around,
Republic,
but the
right?
next.
You do. You have
well,
to say
what you
Old
do
Republic.
is you farm Bastila first because she's the best one out
She's
of there
really,
and
really
actually
fantastic.
useful.
She is useful.
And then
Totally
Zalbar.
agree.
And then Zalbar, because Zalbar's good. And then T3.
Well, T3 and Mission are both Cantina, so you can run them concurrently. And if you're focusing on hard nodes, then it's Bastila, then Zalbar, then Jolie. Although you should have enough energy if you're doing 3 refreshes in order to do all 3 of them, at least with the basic, and then do a refresh of some.
Yeah.
It looks like you have most of the hard node stuff done. So.
Okay. We want to look at his ships next? Or what was the next thing on his criteria that he wanted?
He just wants you to break apart his roster, Grande.
Okay.
So,
He
lead
didn't-
the way.
He didn't say
I think we need to go look at ships next. Because if we go look at his ships, there are some
His ships
areas-
suck.
Yes, we need to work on the ships. We need to.
I know, he
so-
has way too many Gear 12 pilots and everything. Start bringing down their gear. You want them somewhere around Gear 8.
No, but if we look at his ships, you know, there are certain ships that we probably need to farm over.
Yeah,
Zeta.
Poe Dameron, he's got 5-star
And Sunpack. Sunpack is 4 stars.
X-Wing with a Gear 12 Poe.
Sunpack would be another
Boba
one,
Fett's only
right?
5-star.
Boba Fett would be another one. I agree. But here's one. But Cassian U-Wing. Can't we get that from Cantina store?
Yeah, that's a free one to get.
I mean, that's so from the Cantina store, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would potentially help him with getting his 7-star Chimera, which we still need to get. So I feel like that we need to work on Cantina, that one from the Cantina store. So there are some ship farming that we need to do in order to kind of knock that out.
When you looked at his characters, how were his first order? Because his crew is only 4-star. And so he could work on the crew node in order to get Silencer and crew, but I'm not sure how the rest of his first order
I didn't
are.
look at first order.
Well, his first order, he has regular
he's solid
Caloran
on
Gear
Crew.
12.
We
And,
could easily do that crew
Yep.
node. Crew's at 4-star. We could easily take crew to 7-star. I mean, that's effectively an everyday double drop, right? I mean, that's like a freebie node. And it should be one that Ranger likes people to farm, because I like people to farm it.
I like to farm everything. But I mean, there's
So
some good
crew.
ships, and there's some stuff we got to work on here. I mean, Cassian's one that sticks out, like you said.
And
because-
crew.
Yeah, I mean, just yeah, that one I just don't understand. Work on your crew. Come on, man. That's an easy canteen to farm right there. Maybe he stopped because he was working on the Viagra Brothers. Maybe he's gone back in there and working on crew.
No, well, I could understand it with the Viagra Brothers.
Yeah.
But Cassian, you're getting with the credits, with the ship stuff. I mean the currency that you get from Cantina. So
It
that
looks
one
like he
doesn't-
might have been focusing on Zetas, though, because he also only has like a 4-star Scimitar. So it looks like he was focusing a little bit more on Zetas and maybe stopped
Right.
on the
And
ships.
we
He
have-
has a 3-star Rex. I would finish off all of your ships and get him to 7-star.
I know it feels like you're eating your vegetables before you eat dessert to finish off your ships from fleet, but I feel like it's a good thing to do for sure.
yeah, because then you can end up like either saving your fleet shipment credits for other stuff or spending them on like Omegas or Zetas if you need them.
Okay, so we did ships. So now the next thing to look at on the ye old list of stuff is mods. Let's do mods and then Zetas. So I looked up his mods and I sorted by speed secondaries, and he has some excellent mods, especially at the top end. When I just sort by speed, some of these mods are really good. I feel your pain on that 4-star mod you got on Barris Offie, 21 speed on a 4-star. I know it. I feel your pain.
That might be there just to piss off Cubs.
Mm.
Well, but what I'm saying is whenever you get a 21 speed mod, but he has placed it well. I would definitely put a health primary on Barris Offie. Other than that, for the most part, everything is on his arena team. until you get kind of far down, and then it looks like it's on his Night Sisters, which used to make a lot of sense before the rework. We could potentially move a few mods around, but I'm not too upset with where these mods are at. For the most part, they're all on really good characters. A little concerned about why he did it on Night Sister Spirit. Maybe he was using
Spirit's actually really good
in P3 for a while, maybe, and with one of his teams. That could have been why he did it. But these are some excellent mods, and they're, for the most part, they're placed on really good characters. Let's search by flat offense. That's one that we don't really see just a ton of. If we search by flat offense and see if those are more or less in the right spot. Again, we've put them on characters like the Night Sisters. We've put them on characters like Grandmaster Yoda. For the most part, those mods make up. We put them on characters like Greedo, and the Night Sisters again. That makes sense. We put them on Wampa. I mean, look at his 100. Look at his 100+ flat offense on a 30 speed arrow sitting on Wampa. This is how we want to see. He's got almost flat offense of 100 sitting on freaking OG Han. So he's done a good job on these mods and where he's placed them as far as flat offense is concerned. This is one of the. I mean, it's flat offense again, sitting on Snowtrooper. An offense set with again flat offense sitting on Jedi Training Rey. I mean, not Jedi Training Rey, Scav Rey. He's got his offense in the right place. Can anybody see, Finity, anything stick out at you with these mods and the mod placement that doesn't seem right to you?
No, nothing that doesn't seem right. Now, there's different. I mean, he's focusing a lot on speed, so he's there. Yeah, there's nothing really that sticks out to me.
Me neither.
I mean, this is nitpicking a little bit, but I'm not sure if he's getting speed set bonuses on all of his characters. If you sort by speed set and speed secondaries, you have it on Thrawn, and then afterward you see some of his better speeds on like Night Sister Spirit. I know Boba's on his arena team, so it makes sense that it's on Boba. You see Poe, you see Daka, so it starts to spread around a little bit. But his mods are like, if you look at just the secondary speed, it looks like it's on his like main teams. So he may not be fully optimized.
And we've also said sometimes to break up the sets based on what you get for primaries and secondaries. So I feel like he's pretty much in the right. I think the most help he needs is probably in the farming strategy, which we already gave.
Yeah.
What about Zetas? Let's go look at the Zeta list. Are there any Zetas? That's the next item on the.
Well, four or five I saw already listed.
Second.
So I mean, he needs the one on Bosk. He needs the other on Traya.
Traya's lead.
We've got Scion. We've got JTR lead. We've got BB-8. Those are just 5 off the top of my head that I saw in no particular order.
BB-8, JTR, Traya lead.
Scion. Bosk lead.
Scion. Okay.
That's plenty right there. Unless there's another one you see that you think should be in that mix.
Nope.
So.
I'm good.
I'm good. All right. So I think we kind of covered all the bases there for you there, Morse. Angelas. If
you need more help, man, just get with us in Discord, man, or just hit me up in a PM.
That's right.
I'll
Bother Grande, he's always at the pool. And by pool, I mean his pool. He's always at his pool, chilling, drinking a daiquiri, using scented oils. All right, so thank you for that. If you guys would like a Ross review, all you need to do is send your GG page to Dr. Finn Medicine Woman. Make sure he responds, and we will add you to the queue. And we always let you know ahead of time before we're going to do your Ross review. So if you'd like to join us, you can. And if not, just hang tight in the chat and watch as we go through your roster. Make sure if you have specific questions, you can throw those in there too, like what you want us to look at specifically, what you need help with. Okay, let's see here. So that's that. So we got now it's time for the most popular new game show in I don't know in our minds. It's time to play Guess
Yes.
That Ginger. Yay!
With your host, Sanely Red.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not gonna accidentally say the name of the person first this time.
Yeah, let's not do that. That kind of defeats said purpose of a ye old game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, did the voice of Granny Rags in Dishonored.
I never saw that movie.
It's a game.
No, I never played that game either. Then, so that's all.
Wait, what was the question? I couldn't hear that.
Played the voice of Granny Rags in Dishonored.
Next hint.
Okay, made a cameo in Zoolander 2.
This is a good one. God dang, I'm stumped.
Now I'm trying to remember that movie. I'm gonna spend too long. I'll go to the next hint.
Okay, played Sylvia Moore in Wall Street. I didn't. Money is, the sequel to Wall Street. I didn't put the full thing.
Oh,
Hold on.
God, I know who you're talking about. Money Never Sleeps.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Christ. I can see the face. I can't think of that. For Christ's sakes.
Damn it, Sanely.
Chuck Norris.
God, really?
Wow. I'm stumped.
Yeah, I'm stumped on this one.
It's Susan Sarandon.
What's a Susan Sarandon? What?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then.
Okay, next one. She was in the movie My Stepmother is an Alien.
Stepmother's an alien.
It's with Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd.
No.
No.
Sorry.
Chuck Norris.
How is Dan Aykroyd any
God.
worse than that? Alright, next question.
Let's see. She was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Allison Hannigan.
Yep.
Okay.
As soon as I heard Buffy, I was like, oh, you bastard.
Buffy the Allison Hannigan.
And then the next one would have been she was a main character in American Pie that went to band camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Son of a...
Okay, here's the next one. He was in Deadpool 2 as Redneck number 1.
Oh!
Next one.
Okay, played as Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I can't think of the name. Son of a... Son of a bitch.
Damn it, Sanely.
Okay, did the voice of K2SO in Rogue One.
Alan Tudyk?
Yep, that's 1 point for Ranger. Okay, Brad Dourif did the voice of this character.
What was that?
Brad Dourif did the voice of this character.
I don't know.
Chuck Norris.
No. Okay, the next one. Even though he looks like a good guy, he is actually very evil.
Oh, is it Chucky?
Yep.
Ah!
For Finn? Okay. If he saw a dead ginger in a church, he'd say, I guess he was trying to save the soul he didn't have. Yeah!
Ranger.
Cartman.
No.
Solely. I have no idea. I would be guessing too much. Next one.
Played as Detective John Kelly in NYPD Blue.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever watched that show.
I did. Oh, I can't think of his name. Oh, no.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I think we have to go to the next
one.
Played as Lieutenant Horatio Kane from 2002
I can't think of his name.
In a popular TV show set in Miami.
He was in Rambo too. I can't think of his name. David something. I give up. I know it's David.
Wait, is it Cassidy? Is it David Cassidy?
No.
David. No, wait, not Cassidy. Caruso. David Caruso.
Yeah, Caruso.
Yep, Ranger got it.
Oh, Finn, you helped me with that.
You can give that to Ranger. I wouldn't have got it without David. I would have.
David Cassidy. I was like, no, wait, it's not a Cassidy. It's something.
It's a C. It was a C. Something. I love Cassidy, but yeah.
Yeah, so I made up that whole dead ginger in a church thing myself.
Okay.
And the whole thing that was supposed to be, the cue, the music cue.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay,
this should be easy. Big water, ocean water.
I think you underestimate what we find easy.
Big water, ocean water?
You can't get that?
Mm-mm.
Next one.
Thinks everything.
Wait a second. He's not ginger, is he?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of Trump's lines.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously? Trump.
Yep. We were already on the second one. I'm not sure if that counts as 5 or.
No, he gave it before. We didn't really even hear the second one, so that counts as the first round.
Okay, so Finn wins with 6 points. Grim gets second with 5 points, and Ranger with 2.
That's right. Ronnie was nowhere to be seen.
I didn't know Trump was a redhead.
I didn't know that either. I was like, oh, wait a second. I remember that.
Isn't Trump like orangutan hair colored? I mean,
that is pretty close to red.
Listen, my natural hair color is totally not red. That's fake news. It's platinum orange. Just throwing that out there.
It's platinum orange.
Okay.
All right. So on that note, let's do one really quick announcement before we jump into
Quit
questions.
ignoring me, Finn. My hair is luxurious.
It is.
I use Pert Plus and Propecia.
Okay. So
he uses lavender hair shampoo.
That's fake news. I don't know what you mean.
So we mentioned to you guys that the GoFundMe that we have will kind of be adjusted as our costs and everything are being worked out. And so we also said that any extra money that we get will be going directly to the American Cancer Society. But just to let you guys know, our goal after we kind of recalculated some things is now down to $2,350 instead of $3,000. And so we're currently at $1,160, which makes us just about 50% there to getting our goal in order to make sure we can go to Orlando, and then we'll start raising money for the American Cancer Society. So we're more than halfway there. So thank you guys all for all the support you've given so far. And we're going to try and bring this home on the 20th when we have a long stream. So if you guys would like to donate, the link is popping up in Nightbot, and it's also in the description in the YouTube video. So please help us get to Orlando for the charity run, and then we will begin raising money for the American Cancer Society. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into questions. Mr. Sainley.
Ski Trooper, question, am I the only one disappointed with Grande and Team Money's Revan can be free-to-play nonsense on Wednesday night?
Well, we're always disappointed in Grande, so I mean that doesn't.
The quote.
I mean, let's just be real here.
You guys.
Every time Grande says his monkey ass.
I'm not upset about it. Here's the crazy part, right? I get upset about other things. I do not get upset about this, and the reason why is because people are making a ton of assumptions in order to get pissed off. That's the problem, right? I don't like making a ton of assumptions in order to get pissed off. I like dealing in concretes. I like dealing in things that are actually either in the game or things that have actually happened. When I get pissed off because I think TW or TB, which this happened almost a year ago, when TW and TB take way too much player time and they still haven't fixed 600, and we have crap that is really screwed up and has been screwed up for a while, or is screwed up and is actually in game and has actually been here for a while, that's when I get upset. I'm not going to get upset about something that's going to come out in a week and we haven't seen a kit reveal and we don't know how it works and we don't know this and we don't know that and we're making this assumption and that assumption, a third assumption and a fifth assumption and an eighth assumption in order to get mad. I get mad about real stuff happening in the real world that's been happening for a long time.
And I just
bottom line,
and that's just why Grande is Grande. I disagree with all that.
Actuallys and assumptions.
Yes. Just like we're assuming that the character release is too close and it just equates to the same as Thrawn, and you have to get a 7-star instead of 5-star. Oh wait, those are facts. That's right.
No.
Listen, that's totally fake news.
Here's what's not a fact. What's not a fact is we're not sure that the counter is not already in your roster. We're not sure. We are definitely not sure.
Those aren't pissing
We've never said
people off,
anything
though.
about him being OP or not being OP or not having the counter. The only thing we've been I can't speak for everyone. I've seen other things on Reddit and all of that. The only thing we've been upset about is that the character release is too close. They released the characters to free-to-play access way too close to when they're releasing the event for a 7-star unlock. This is basically a week extra compared to Thrawn and now requiring 7-star. That's been my complaint.
But if it makes no difference whether you get it today or whether they have the event again in 75 days and you get it in 75 days, and it does not affect your arena rank, it does not affect your ship's rank, it does not affect your ability to win or lose in TB or TW, and it does not affect what
that's
what
a
happens.
lot of assumptions there, Grande.
Well, that's a lot of assumptions right there.
You're making a lot of assumptions, Grande.
All I'm saying is we don't know. Look, if he comes out,
that they made this cadence a lot shorter than they have anything else.
Sure.
That's what I'm upset about. I don't think the cadence makes sense. The way that they're releasing it, they're releasing it in a lot shorter time span than any other 7-star required character. This is equivalent to Thrawn, but Thrawn was a 5-star unlock. If they want to do 7, that's fine, but they needed probably about 2 weeks, I think would have been the right spot, where they would have made it so some of the people that are hardcore free-to-play that may even spend, right, like the Dolphins and the Minnows, they actually have a chance with another 2 weeks. With the current way, either you have a lot of crystals saved up, and you were able to buy the packs in order to get it, or you're a high spender and you don't really feel it because you would have probably spent the same no matter what in order to get it.
Or it comes out now, and then it comes out in another 75 days.
You're assuming that's going to come out in another 75 days.
I don't even care about the second time. I'm already on the fact that I'll get it the second time around. It doesn't bother me necessarily that I'm not getting it this time.
Yeah.
What bothers me is that they changed the cadence so much that they actually made it so even the people that just spend a little and are thinking, okay, well, maybe I can spend $20 and $50 in order to get this character. It's almost impossible for them with the way that this released. That you can't spend $20 or $50, even if you're saving from the release of Bastila, right? Because you also have you have to work on your bounty hunters for that. There was also the possibility of solo. So there was a lot of things to work on. Unless you were saving and just didn't care about that other stuff, there's no way you would have been able to get it. That's my problem. It has nothing to do with the kit. It has nothing to do with it coming around the second time. If the second time comes around in 3 months, 6 months, I could give 2 props about that. It's all about the fact that they're changing the way that the cadence is being released.
They're not changing it; they just shortened it.
That's changing it, Grande.
It focuses a lot.
There's a difference between the how it was and shortening it, and then surprise, motherfucker. This is a surprise, mother.
No, it's not. We knew Revan was coming. I mean, when you get 5 characters that come in the game that have the same tag, be prepared for an event.
No, but that had not. Even if you were saving, you had to save you had to save about 40,000 crystals in order to have a chance. If you weren't going to spend money, it has nothing. We didn't think that Revan was coming before the Bastille release.
We thought it was going to be Malik.
We knew something was coming with 5 characters.
Yeah, but we didn't expect it this soon, this quickly for this character.
And honestly, this is only off by about 2 weeks. The 2 weeks is what makes a difference. And they did it intentionally. I'm not saying that they didn't do it.
Of course they did it intentionally. The idea here is to make money. Exactly, they're trying to get more money.
But the way that they're making more money, and I'm not sure if everyone is seeing this. This is why it's upsetting me more than anything. Is that it's just trying to milk people at the higher end more so than trying to get more people involved spending the lower amounts. Ever since they stopped that $10 pack where you're getting like crystals monthly, and I know there were other reasons for it.
There's way other reasons for that, and many of the developers would bring that pack back
if they could. Yeah, I know, and I understand there's other reasons, but the general point I'm making is ever since that happened, right? There's been a lot of people that have been looking to see how can I spend about 10 months monthly in order to invest in this game. And the only thing has been that $10 pack. And even if they tried to
that's untrue. No, that's untrue. What the statement you just made, the only thing is the $10 pack, is untrue. When they increase the number of hard nodes you can farm and they decrease the cost of a refresh, they're effectively making your crystals go longer if you're a farmer.
Yeah, but that affects everybody. I'm saying the people that are spending $10 per month, they're trying to figure out.
No. You cannot. I cannot make a point and you basically dismiss my point.
What is your point?
My point is that whenever they decrease the costs,
so your crystals go further.
Yes.
Grande, they have been moving the goalposts for a while. If you have not seen...
Absolutely, they're moving the goalposts every time.
He's trying to make it. So your crystals go farther. What does that have to do with people spending $10 a month and trying to figure out what to spend?
If they spend $10, they will get more with the $10 they spent than they would have before this went down. I mean, effectively what happened, when we got hard nodes to 8, and when we got refreshing the node at half price, it's effectively the equivalent of double drops.
Listen, I listen. Wait, we just got a donation. Zarathrista, defund your own Revan participation trophy. That's about the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody say. I don't care about. Hold on, now Ranger's in Ranger rant mode.
No.
You're not going to get away with donate. But thank you for the donation, by the way.
Trophy.
I don't want a participation trophy. I don't expect it. I'm an ex-Army Ranger. I know about giving and sacrificing and doing what you need to do. This ain't about that. This is about you're basically. If you want to make this a pay-to-play game, go right ahead. If you want to make it to where you have the top end, where you want to get free characters, go right ahead. No one here is arguing that. I don't expect them to give me anything, and I don't expect anything to be given to me. I farm, I bust my ass in the game, I do what I need to do. I don't expect anything. First of all, this is not a character that I want in the first place, because I think they have their head up their ass not knowing who Revan is. Second of all, if they want to make the event hard and make it where it costs money, go right ahead. Our point is, if you're going to do that, you're going to alienate a huge segment of your population. Plain and simple. If you don't even give people... I was just talking with Mist about this last night. What had happened if they had waited till December to do this?
What happens if they do it now and they do it in December? What happens if they do it now and they do it in December?
Lose players now, and then the
people are quitting. Grande
have already farmed enough.
Are they really going to lose that many players?
Yeah, they already have. It's already
and they may not lose players in terms of deleting the game. They're losing players that are in Dolphins and Minnow spending raids. They're like, there's no reason for me to give money.
Maybe not. Maybe they don't. Maybe they have a lot of people that say that, and then they remove it for a couple of days, and then they come back.
But here's the main thing. You can tell that there's something wrong here when even the dudes that are, in the Game Changer program have issues with this release?
It is true, Ron. This is
I mean, the whole community is in an uproar about this release.
I think I don't doubt. I mean, I don't disagree with you that the community is upset about it. My only thought on the matter is this founded, and if it's possible that in the future other things happen, could it be that it was all upset for naught?
No,
it's not, because they're doing the same thing that they did with Thrawn, and people were upset about it and still went through with it because it was at least a 5-star unlock, and they intentionally made it worse. This is worse than what it was with Thrawn, and they did it quite knowingly. And so if that's the way they want to go, I mean, it's up to them.
Yeah,
it's their business model.
Hell yeah,
they're focusing way too much on the high end and ignoring the lower spenders. And the lower spenders are the ones that are annoyed by all of this. It's not the high end.
I agree.
And it's not the super free to play, because the super free to play are fine with it coming in the second time around. It's the people that spend that little amount and think that they have a chance by spending $20 or $50 to maybe get this. And if they spend $50, then maybe they'll spend a little bit more if it requires like $100 in order to get this. Like, they're okay with it. And one of those people is Tits. I mean, Tits was saying the same thing. She was like, well, I was working on the KOTOR characters, and if it was at least close, I would have been okay with dropping it for Revan, but now there's no point, so why would I put my money into this game ever? It's not now. What they're doing in terms of what you're saying about releasing it in December again, right? Maybe that's good for people that are like, okay, well, we're expecting it the second time around, and whoopee, the second time around is coming shorter. The problem is they're making an impression on people that are trying to give them money for this game with the first time around, saying, we don't need your money the first time around. That's the message that is sending to them, whether it's intended or not. That's the message that's getting sent. So when you ask, does it make a difference whether they do it now and then release it in December? Yeah, because the first time they release it, you're sending a message to players saying, yeah, we don't care about your money. We're only trying to get people that are spending $200 or more to really get this character, and that's the way we're moving. That's the message they're sending, and that's why people are upset. Has nothing to do with the kit, because we obviously don't know it. Has nothing to do about the fact that you might be able to counter it. I'm sure people will get upset if his kit is awful and people spent money on it. That's something later down the line. But the problem is the way that they're releasing it.
He could be broke, man. He could be broke.
He could.
And that would really suck too. It's a no-win scenario with this.
But the outrage has nothing to do with the kit.
Right.
The outrage is simply based on the way that they're releasing it. There's no assumptions being made about the kit, whether it's good or bad or anything like that with regards to whether or not people are angry. The anger is because they made this release more strict than Thrawn, and people were already upset with Thrawn, but mildly tolerant because there was a 5-star acquisition, and you couldn't get it to 7 stars. Like, okay, we can't get it to 7-star, but at least we can get it to 5-star, and there was some kind of like middle ground that they were like okay with. There's none of that here. It's 5 characters that are being done on a short time frame with a 7-star unlock. You can't get it at 5-star. People are upset because they're basically saying spend $200 or you're not getting this character. And people that spend like $50 are like, well, they don't need my $50. I will go elsewhere.
The other thing too is, the economics of it. A lot of people, I would say the vast majority of the player base, they're free to play because they can't afford to spend that kind of money. When I think of something like this, I think about people that work hard, they have families, they enjoy the game, they spend what they can, but, they have budgets, they have other things that are more important, right? Some people ignore that and get in trouble, but that's a whole nother subject. But the concept is they like being in the game, they like the community, they want to feel like they can participate and be a part of it, right? When you throw something out like this, they're not seeing 3 to 6 months down the road when they might have an opportunity to get it, because you're assuming that that's going to be the case. They feel like they're involved with the game, they support the game the best way they can. Whether it's $50 a month, $30 a month, $20 a month, maybe that's all they can budget for. And so when you throw something like this, if that's the concept, listen, this is fine, but you have to understand there are other people in this world, the vast majority, that have other priorities. They play this game to have fun. Now, if you want to bring Revan in and make it exclusive, that's okay. But you better understand that when you tell the other people that are doing the best they can with what they got, that, you have to wait, and that's just the way it is, then you're going to get some backlash for that, Grande. So there's two concepts.
But I mean, there's all kinds of things in life that I want and I don't get right away.
Grande, not everybody has been blessed as you have been.
But you're right.
No. I'm saying there's all kinds of things in life. That I don't get because I don't have the money to buy them.
But that's okay. I'm just saying that's the same situation
so
this
that's
might
the
be
same
in.
thing I'm saying with Revan. I'm just saying there are. I live in a community right now. I'm part of a community right now. I don't have the best house. I don't have the best job. My kids don't go to the best school. But you know what? If I'm diligent and I'm patient and I save my money and I wait and I make smart decisions, guess what? In a couple of years, we get a better house. In a couple of years, we get our kids at a better school. In a couple of years, we get stuff that's better because we had delayed gratification. It's okay.
So it's delayed gratification to an extent, Grande. So the equivalent of this in terms of the real life setting, and it happens, I'm not saying it doesn't, is that you're really a fan of a particular car brand or something like that. And then they just increase the price to the next level. So if you're a real fan of Nissan, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this model is good. Then you switch it to Infinity, right? And so then you have to pay more. It doesn't mean that people can't buy it, and they have every right in order to switch it. It just means that you may not be a fan of Nissan anymore, because every time you find a model that you like and they keep on upgrading it, they switch it into a different price range to you. So you find someone else that may be able to do it. Now, the game type of Galaxy of Heroes is somewhat unique. There's been like Marvel Strike Force and other stuff, but there's really nothing that really compares to it. But mobile gaming in general is a huge genre. You can switch to any other mobile game that you want. And there's a lot of other ways you can spend your money. So it's not that they can't do this decision. It's that people will just take their money elsewhere. If that's the way they want to do it, then it's fine. Because some people are looking to spend their money and have fun at $50 a month. Like, that's their budget. They don't have to spend it on Galaxy of Heroes. They'll spend it elsewhere, and they can easily find fun elsewhere. Are those the players that they want to lose? If they are only trying to get this delayed gratification attempt, where in 2 months or 3 months, if Revan's event returns, it's like, okay, well, you got it in 2 or 3 months, you just don't get it the first time around. Well, some people are going to be like, well, I try to put some money into it at the beginning. I work really hard. I get high in arena. I get high in fleets. I try to get some crystals. I try to build my roster for territory wars and territory battles in order to help my guild and all of this stuff. Like, there's a lot of things to do in the game. Meanwhile, you release about 15 characters in Marquee and you don't know which direction everything is going to be. And then they're like, oh, well, you know what? I'll just spend my money in a different game and just continue, since in 3 months, if I farm hard, I'll get it for free. Now you've lost their money.
Do you remember when Yoda first came out, and when CLS first came out, and when Ray first came out?
Yeah.
Not all of us got it the first time.
And do you remember what I said at that time, Grande?
Not all of us got it.
Yeah, but do you remember what I said?
What'd you say?
That the characters for CLS were there since day one. And so if you were not able to unlock
the characters for CLS were not there from day one.
Which one was Ben? The only one that wasn't there was R2.
Old Ben, Princess Leia, Stormtrooper Han, R2 required Empire, Luke. And then Farm Boy Luke. Which one? All of them were pretty much day one characters.
Well, I'm just saying, if you got R2 and you didn't level him up and gear him up, you wouldn't be ready to go, right?
But that was on the second attempt. So R2 wasn't on the first try too. So you had 3 months in order to get all the Empire for R2. So even at the time the CLS came out, I said that if you didn't have it, and I had gone on to the stream also and speculated for months. I made a list of every single character related to Luke. Even came up with Tuskens and Jawas that people should work on if they really care about CLS. And even at that time, I defended that even if you didn't get 7-star at Luke, they were day one characters. So if you didn't work on them, that was a choice, and that was fine. You just get it the second time around. For Jedi Training Rey, I actually did very similar. The only thing was the veterans, but the veterans were 2 characters that you had to farm from Cantina. So I said it was annoying, but that it was possible if you had started to farm kind of from the beginning. And T-Money kind of made mention of this too. And we had suspected that something was going to be like that. I think Warrior also mentioned like months in advance, like get ready for the veterans to come and everything. Yeah. And we had said that you should start farming crystals.
We had talked about it. The veterans were highly likely.
But
Absolutely.
The characters involved, most of them were day one characters. And if you talk about the legendary, you had at least 3 months in order to farm them. And so even at that time, I was defending, and I know people were mad at me for saying it, and it's fine, was that they were heavily day one characters. And if you don't have the characters for CLS at that time, that's fine. They just wait for it the second time around. You had the opportunity. You chose to focus on something else. That's fine. I said that for Jedi Training Rey. I said it for CLS. The first time I got upset was with Thrawn because of the short release for the Phoenix and how soon the Thrawn event came out.
But you could still have gotten it, right?
You could have, and I did. I got it.
And because the characters were not just hard nodes. That's the other big thing about this. They were an arena store, cantina.
They were spread out.
But at this point, you can do 16. You can do 16 tries. For 25 crystals.
Yeah, I mean, they have made it easier to get the hard nodes, so I'm not going to argue.
No,
with that.
I'm not arguing that.
You're
but
correct on that.
It is a
still
longer.
5 characters you have to farm, and Thrawn allowed you to unlock at 5-star.
Right.
And we got a whole nother kind of energy, and we separated energy out from Cantina, so we're not having the mods versus Cantina argument anymore. I mean, there's tons.
But most people are not going to be okay. Most people do not have the crystals in order to refresh fleet battles. I'm going to say it right now.
Agree.
So fleet battles, you get the extra 120, so you get your few battles in to try and get the particular stuff. But I mean, or 240 energy a day. So you get a couple of attempts, and you can maybe pick up an extra 2 or 3 shards. It's not a huge amount. Most people can't refresh that. The hard nodes is a big deal with the 25 refresh and all of that. So that one is definitely helpful. But again, they changed it to a release similar to Thrawn, but now requiring a 7-star unlock. And so it is a tighter time frame. And that's the problem. Like, people were upset with Thrawn, and they basically gave an extra week compared to the Thrawn, but now require you to get 7-star. And that's where the anger comes in. And like I said, I defended the fact that if you didn't get CLS the first time, that's fine. They were day 1 characters. You didn't work on them.
Yeah, it's like same thing with Chewie.
Chewie also. You have like bounty hunters. You didn't work on them, and they gave a lot of hints that you should work on bounty hunters. They added the bounty hunter events. They added the bounty hunter node in the territory battles in order to work on those. Like, they gave enough hints that's like, okay, start working on your bounty hunters. They're kind of important. And so if you didn't work on it, that's fine. And I was okay with possibly not getting Chewie to 7-star either. I had been working on Bosk though anyway.
Yeah.
So it worked out, but I was like,
I don't have any problem with the Chewie event. It came out. It was, if you had the characters, great. If you didn't, hey, you can't complain about something that's been around, characters that have been around forever. That you have no argument. There's just no argument to be made there. The event was hard as balls. I have 9 hours of me just suffering, but y'all enjoyed it, and it was worth it, and we raised money for cancer. So, that's a different thing. But when it comes to this, it's just ridiculous. It really is. Now,
they intentionally made this to try and get more people to spend over $200 for a character, and
Correct.
That's fine. But the problem is
they want to turn more people into marquee buying characters,
right?
But marquee buying players, yes.
But their assumption here, and we'll see if this actually plays out, is that people are not spending $200 because there's no reason for them to spend $200, versus the fact that people can't afford to spend $200.
The idea here is that if people are willing to spend $300 on a marquee, are they willing to spend $300 on a legendary?
Right. But the people that are spending $300 on the marquee will spend no matter what. Like, those are the high-end whales and krakens.
Not everybody is like that.
No,
I'm just saying.
Not
everybody is like that. And so what I've tried to say is we keep liking to splice people, and we say, okay, well, we have these whales that spend money, and then we have these dolphins that spend a little bit of money, and then we have free to play. When in actuality, we don't have 3 groups. There's probably 12 groupings on price points of how much.
Let me generalize into 4 groups here. Okay. So you have one group of people, and I'm not going to go by monetary amount. I'm just going to go simply based on spending style, I'll call it. So you have one group of people that will spend in order to get the characters no matter what. You can classify them as whales, kraken, whatever. But when they see a character, they're going to pay in order to get it. You have another group on the opposite end that just won't spend at all, right?
Correct.
Then you get into the middle. You have one group that will spend if they have a particular character they want specifically, so they don't spend on like everyone, but they have particular ones that they're trying to spend on, and they'll spend based on whatever they need and work hard in game in order to try and minimize that cost. You have the other group that's like, okay, I'm going to spend X amount per month because that is all I can afford. And by moving their goalposts, what they're doing is basically assuming that more people are in that group where it's like, okay, I'll spend in order to get this character, whatever it costs, but I'm only spending on getting this character and I won't spend for like the next couple months or whatever their spending style is, right? They're assuming more people are in there, so they'll shift from spending $150 a month to spending $250.
To shift people. They're trying to shift people in their spending brackets. Absolutely.
But they're assuming that the other group that's like, okay, I can only afford to spend $20 a month, or I can only afford to spend $50 a month, or whatever their cutoff budget is, they're assuming that that group is smaller than the other group kind of in that mid-range. And so far, at least for the most vocal, now being most vocal doesn't mean it's the majority, so in the end they'll only be able to see by the numbers. But the most vocal ones are the ones that are in that group that have a set spending budget and now feel like their money is useless. And so that's the most vocal group because they're spending $20 a month, $50 a month, and think, okay, well, if I work hard and I can spend $50 a month, maybe if I go up to 70, like that's my cutoff limit, I can get Revan. But that's been dashed for them, and they're the ones that are upset. Now, that other group may spend more, and they might end up having more of money balance for it, which is fine. That means that their business model kind of worked. They were able to shift those people to work harder. But now you're kind of negating that entire group, and you're starting to shift those I will spend X monthly group down to the free-to-play. And you're losing that amount. So if you don't have the right estimates on how much of the people you have in that group that has a set spending budget versus those that are willing to spend if they like a particular character, you're going to lose money. And in the end, it's going to come down to whether or not they make or lose money. I mean, it's EA. That's all they care about. But vocal-wise, the group that's really, really upset right now is the group with the set spending budget that are feeling like their $20 and $50 aren't worth it, and they're getting ready to move that money elsewhere permanently. Like, it's not... They've seen the greed of EA seep into CG. We've tried to separate the two, and I know there's some outside influences to CG and stuff, but at this point, it's seeped in. There's a greed aspect to all of the releases, which is fine. They're a business. They're trying to make money. But there's a greed aspect to it that's coming into play that people recognize with EA, and that's when people start turning off EA. And so it's going to affect CG if they continue this way. Because EA does not have a good reputation.
No, and they're suffering horribly for it. You know, EA's Battlefront and other games they're in trouble. You know, I mean, they're even countries investigated
CG can build goodwill on the forums and all of that.
Yes.
But these things will reflect on them now because the separation of EA and CG is over. At this point, it is affecting in-game things to the point where you can see the greed of EA showing up, and there's no longer a separation of EA and CG. It is now EA CG. They are one, and no matter what they do on the forums in order for goodwill, right? And they had built a lot of goodwill with this. The EA greed is starting to seep in, and people are not giving that excuse anymore.
Which I find fascinating because this is like the number one, and it fluctuates between 1 and 2 mobile game on the store. You know, they're making a fortune. They have been making a fortune.
Star Wars people will spend.
Yes.
That's why you see an anger over the way Revan is released. Like, I was mentioning this on the forums. Like, I'm not huge into the lore. Before we started doing this, like, I was just a movies person. So if you'd asked me before this who Revan was, I would have had zero idea. But obviously you, Ranger, are a lot more into Star Wars. And so I learned about Revan more for you, and I definitely kind of moved towards you for any of those opinions. But the people that are upset about the Revan release are the hardcore Star Wars fans. And they're the ones that are really upset about the whole way that they're handling Revan in general. Like, it doesn't appear to be true to lore. I won't claim to know what it is. You explained it all. But it doesn't appear to be true to lore. And we've seen at least, and we'll see if it reflects on this game, but we've seen with the Han Solo movie, even if it's a good movie, what happens when you start to mess with Star Wars like they did with Last Jedi.
Yeah, people will not pay.
And they saw it in the box office on Solo, despite Solo being a really good movie from everyone that I've heard that saw it.
I mean,
but
yeah, my point earlier.
The way to make an impact is with the bottom line. So if people want to make an impact, that's the way you do it.
If they had just waited till December to release Revan, I
think December would have been too late.
Well, I'm just saying, just in general, yeah. But we'll say November, right? Let's just say next month, right?
They needed to wait 2 weeks, 2 more weeks,
2 or 3 weeks. Give people a chance. You know, perception is reality. If you allow people to keep farming and they had gotten closer, then people would be like, I'm close. I will spend money on this, right? Because you already got the people that will spend it anyway. But if you allow people an opportunity to be really close, then, you know, give them a little bit more leeway and keep farming. And then all of a sudden, hey, here's the announcement. Here comes Revan. And they'd had a couple more weeks to farm and we're closer. More people would have been like, Yeah. Now there would have been some people complaining. I would not have been complaining because I'm like, well, I just don't have the means to get it, but that's okay. I do the best I can. But the fact that it would have been closer, and given more leeway, but it's a time frame. I don't know. I being a business major, I understand they have to make money, but how you go about making money is also based off what the community of players view you as, right? Whether you're right or wrong, it's their perception of you, and if you have a bad perception, then that affects the bottom line. So, I mean.
But I hope that makes sense, Grande. Like, the anger isn't necessarily with assumptions about the kit and being able to be countered or anything like that. It's just that they seem to be disenfranchising the low-level spenders by doing this with a set budget. Now, how big a population that is, we'll have to see. But that seems to be where most of the anger is coming from. Yeah.
I mean, if you're free to play, you have to understand you should not have any expectation in this game to be able just to get shit. However, there is a line that has to be drawn where, there's certain, for me, I've spent tons of money on this game in my perception. Now, I'm not Kraken level, but I've opened tons of chromiums and stuff on the channel and stuff like that. It's not like I have not made an investment in this game, but it's like to consistently have to make an investment in the game just to get characters. It kind of gets old and ridiculous.
Shadow is saying something that I don't disagree with. So he said, in all honesty, free-to-play players shouldn't be able to unlock a legendary tool in the first go-around. We're not saying free-to-play. So I'm a free-to-play. I have zero issue if I can't unlock Revan. Zero. I don't care at all if I can't unlock it the first time around. I'll try. I'll hoard crystals and I'll do all kinds of things in order to try it. But if I don't get it, I don't get it. It doesn't bother me. What's upsetting is the fact that they're making the cost for it so much higher that it's actually making the low-level spenders, not the free-to-play, but the people that spend but only can spend as much as they have available to them with set budgets, like $20 a month, $50, $100, whatever it is, they're spending on a game that they feel like they have no reason to spend in this game anymore. Mm-hmm. So those are the people that this is hurting. The free-to-play, for the most part, don't care.
Yeah, they don't.
The actual full free-to-play players are like, well, I may not be able to get it, and so okay, I'll work on it next time. But
I wouldn't really say that the free-to-play players don't care. They do care to an extent. They don't care about the money aspect. They care about the process and the practice.
Yeah.
When a company blatantly goes out of the way to screw players over, that's when the free-to-play players have an issue.
I wouldn't go based on the forums, by the way. The forums a lot of times are just awful. So I wouldn't go. Oh
God, yeah.
I'm pure free to play in this game now. I used to buy the daily crystal pack back when it was actually, in game. Now I don't pay for this shit. But this one, to me, it feels like a blatant, we're going to go out of our way to screw everybody over to make money.
Yeah.
But I don't think we are. I mean, there's guys that are doing it for less than $100, man.
No, there are, but you needed a crystal hoard. You're not doing it without a hoard of crystals.
No, there are people that have done it and are spending less than $100.
I find that, I want to see proof. I don't believe that.
If they haven't bought the $10 packs initially, and if they didn't have a hoard of crystals. I'll tell you right now, if they don't have a hoard of crystals, then I find that very hard to believe. You could have hoarded crystals for free. I'm not
there's one person that's
But you have to have a hoard of crystals because there's people that are free to play that did it with a hoard of about 40,000 crystals.
Yeah.
Not buying 40,000 crystals, but collecting it over the past few months, and then suspecting something was going to come, and they're very disciplined for doing it. I'm not that's a really good way to do it. They did 40,000 crystals, accumulated it up, and then we're like, okay, well, let me save for something big because I feel something as big is coming. And then Revan's they're like, oh, good, it was worth saving it.
Which is cool.
I don't believe that anybody spent less than $100 without having a hoard of crystals, Grande.
Okay.
If you ask them if they had crystals that they used first before spending money. Because there's no way mathematically that you could have. You had to have crystals stored up. $100 is not enough.
Well, we've been this again, dead horse. So there's going to be people on both sides of the aisle. No one's going to agree.
I swear we've probably beaten like several dead horses.
I mean, we lit this bitch on fire, man. We peed on the corpse. We did all kinds of stuff to this topic, but it always comes around. CJ can do whatever they want. They're not getting a dime from me anymore. If this is the direction they're going to go, then kudos. I'll go somewhere else. Ben will go somewhere else. Grim will go somewhere else. There's other games to play and stuff. So, I what I care about for this community is that we are able to hang out and just play games that we enjoy.
Totally agree.
And I'm not getting the enjoyment from Galaxy Heroes anymore. I'm with Finn. Finn's the same way. I know Grim's the same way. A lot of people are like this. It's like, okay. Whether, and it's not about being
Clans.
Oh God, yes he is. I hope Tits kicks your ass. But it's about the community. That's why we play the games that we do, because we like hanging out with our friends and having fun and shooting the shit and just doing that. It's not about it's not about this. It's not this whole money aspect is it's just ridiculous. So. You can have whatever viewpoint you want. I do say this to the community: do not go at each other and name call. And if someone wants to get Revan, then that is cool. They can get Revan. There was a whole incident with Warrior where the people were calling him a shill, and it was very disappointing because
yeah, that's uncalled for.
I disagree with Grande. I disagree with Grande 100%. But I'm not going to sit there and call him names, and it's just it's retarded.
Well, it's not out.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree about this particular topic and still be friends.
Right.
Absolutely.
You guys got to keep it civil with us. If you want to be mad at the company, be mad at the company. Do not be mad at
mad at the company.
But
yes.
do not be mad at the players.
Be relatively respectful to them too. Just saying.
Well, yeah, not let me yell and scream and cuss at them. You guys keep it civil, because I'm just, the wake up call.
Don't get personal with the people from CG.
Yeah.
General CG is one thing. No, there have been incidents in the past where people get personal with the people from CG.
Yeah, don't do that either. You can call the company's decisions stupid and things of that nature, but don't attack personal people. The people there are great. We know some of them. They're wonderful people. I adore CG Carey. But the company itself and its decisions, I'm going to call out and cuss the hell out. But let's keep it in perspective. As a business model, I think they have their head up their ass. But when I make that statement, I'm not saying, I'm not attacking each individual person there, personally. So, and let's not go after players, guys. Let's not do that. It's not cool.
Next question.
Oh, we have more questions.
We only got through the one.
Mm-hmm. Well, that just happened.
One question. We're at one question.
Oh my
Best
God.
Q&A ever. All right, let's do some more questions here. And avoid Revan questions, Samely.
Yep. No more Mr. Nice Guy. What are the chances of double drops and credit heists before Revan event?
I just said no Revan.
Well, we do know that's going to eliminate all the questions that we have.
Well, I mean, they kind of do this.
They usually do it on the first time of the event rollout, so
sure.
you probably.
I wouldn't shock me if it happened. So
yeah.
Yeah, that could.
Sean Harriman, question: next Zeta save for Treya. He's at 56 out of 145 for the unlock. Asajj, Night Sisters, almost ready for raid. 5-star OT Chewy, Sabine, or Bosk. Only 3 stars, just started farming.
Night Sisters, get your raid score up. You're a ways away from Treya, so don't save it for Treya. You've got 90 shards away.
What is he getting in fleet? He might not be getting Zetas at a good rate in order to not be ready for Treya.
I don't know. I'm just asking. He's asking where the Zeta should go. So
I might save up 2. I mean, you can save up 2 for Treya and then start putting it on the other teams.
He could. I'm just thinking that he could maybe get more Treya shards if he can get a better score in Phase 4 with his Night Sisters and stuff like that. That's the only reason I said that. But,
Yeah, I think either of those is good. I just wish I knew where he was finishing in fleet and if he had his ships and everything done. so we had a better idea about how many Zetas he was getting per week, right? So that'd give us an idea of saying, okay, yeah, you'll definitely have 2 more ready for Treya when you get her unlocked. But not knowing that, yeah, the best one's probably your Night Sisters.
Sean, question: what team do you recommend for the special mission in the 6th vertical slice of the Dark Side territory battle?
I still haven't beaten it with my troopers.
Okay, so
I'm so worried.
I think you're locked in on Veers and Snowtrooper and IPD, right?
No, just Veers and Probe Droid. No Snowtrooper.
Veers and Probe Droid. Okay, so in my opinion, Stark makes the team, Snowtrooper makes the team, and then you're left with a 5th spot. The characters that I've had trouble with, I thought Shore Trooper would help me. The problem is with Shore Trooper's taunt, he literally dies. So I needed a character that would not die quite as their whole job was not just to die. And so I ended up putting Death Trooper on that team and having much better success for quite a long time. I'm going to actually try it with Range Trooper this time, because I think potentially with Range Trooper it'll be a little bit easier, and it saves Death Trooper so I can freaking platoon him. But that's the way I've had success with it.
Science.
Who? Question: what is the best / fastest way to farm Mark V stun gun salvage?
Guild Event Store.
Yeah, that's
it's
one.
the unfortunate truth, but Guild Event Store and Shard Shop currency just wait.
Yeah, I do a lot of Guild Event Store and Shard Shop currency. I also remember doing a lot of Holdo's node.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm still doing Holdo's node. I think I'm 71 out of 85 with her.
I was until KOTOR.
No, I've still got her in the mix, man. Because once I do the refreshes and stuff for my characters, I have energy left over. I always put it in Holdo. Although I just started adding Range Trooper into the mix as well, because I'm like, you know what? I would like to have Stanley on my roster. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, he's not showing his gingivitis hair, but I'll take it.
Sword of the Jedi. Why do people with unlimited money never understand people who don't?
No one has unlimited money. No one has their ability to print their own money except for the government.
I do. So, shut up, Grande. You have no idea what you're talking about.
No one has unlimited money. So let me tell you what happens when you have more money. You just have larger problems. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about it.
I've got 99 problems and Grande's not one. I'm just saying.
Hashtag whale problems.
Big deal.
More money, more problems. Next question.
I don't know.
Let's see. Okay, Nathaniel Miller. Question: I think I've moved from the Zeta Crunch to the Omega Crunch. I've got a steady 1 to 2 eggs and not enough Omegas. Is there a way to help balance this out, or just live with it?
You have to live with it, man.
I mean, you have to live with it.
You know, there's only so much you can do.
There's an Omega Crunch that happens for so freaking long. Oh my god! And it's pain. It's more painful than the stinking than the Purple Crunch when the Purple ability mats were a big crunch.
Yeah.
And it is definitely more painful than Zeta Crunch. Absolutely, it is excruciating. Well, I don't know what else to say.
They do make an app for it. It's called Talkspace. You can get your own therapist to walk you through it.
No.
Or you can hop on Chat Roulette and talk to somebody for fun. Next question.
Katsukagi Too Easy. Question: Finn, have you made the CPU virus to hit the CG headquarters? I know Grande has the ability to steal the Wi-Fi, and he's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Grande will steal the Wi-Fi.
We're still in the process of coding Skynet.
I've amassed some troops like the Budweiser Knight, Dilly Dilly. Grande will be on Wi-Fi government stealing.
I would like an autumnal ale, please.
All right, one autumnal ale for Finn. Bud Light for everybody else. Finn will be in charge of public relations to make sure that when we successfully raid, that
all I'm doing is just chasing chickens with jackets.
When you're still in the government Wi-Fi, we have to cut down communications, Grande, so you can sit there and be like, guys, I'm chasing chickens and I'm on the internet. They can't see nothing but chickens.
Grande will be in charge of shenanigans.
Yeah, he'll be running around chasing chickens and CG be like, "What is this?"
And I'm also in charge of making sure that the pool is up to snuff.
I know, right?
And that the pool
He has
is nice
his own
and clean and
limousine
tidy.
with the pool. He's just sitting there stealing Wi-Fi with videos of him getting on the internet of him chasing chickens. Oh, God. Well, we have our distraction ready. Dr. Finn will.
I promise you. The pool is ready.
Finn will be doing public relations, like talking about that and spitting it in a way like.
I know this is off topic, but I just want to point out that this is why I enjoy this group that I've been able to hop on the streams with. Is we may not agree on stuff, we argue and everything, but then down the line we can kick back and enjoy and laugh with each other.
That's the whole point. That's the whole freaking point.
I'm just saying that's cool.
That's how we
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Michael Longmead. Question, is it fair to say that free-to-play players should have to choose where to focus character farming opposed to getting everything on time even when disciplined? I personally feel, and I only spend about $15 a month, that free-to-play players should have to choose who to focus farm to get everything. So that players have had to choose between Young Solo or Bounty Hunters for OT Chewie or Old Republic for Revan. But that deviating from any one at any time means sacrificing the potential unlocks of the other. Do each of you feel that this view is unreasonable?
No,
that's how it's always been.
It's
though.
always kind of been that way. Yeah, I mean,
that's why we say stay on target.
Stay on target. You can only anticipate as a free to play what's going to happen, right? And we try to speculate for you guys as much as we can what we think is going to happen. This has been kind of crazy the last ones because we've had so much release that it's been really hard, and we've been trying to steer people in the direction because as soon as we figure it out.
He said hard.
Boy, I'll tell you what, those two buttholes, Finn and Grande, have been whacking off in my tool shed again. But yeah, you got to remember this game is, unless you spend a lot of money, it's a long-term, farm in all characters, it's not just the characters, but it's also gear and things of that nature. So you have to be, as a free-to-play, you have to be kind of decisive. We always tell players that have not even unlocked some of the other legendaries, like, okay, stop what you're doing. These are the focus that you have to be and try to catch up. Because
I still think that Revan is part of the focus, right? I mean, even if you're not going to get it this time around, it should still be part of your focus.
Not if you're missing legendaries like JTR or CLS.
Yeah, absolutely. Legendaries, yeah. Let CLS, JTR first. But after you're done, if you're done with all of that, then there's no need to panic, but you should, in your leisure, work on getting it done.
Yeah, but you have to make that choice. So we kind of guide you into get these characters first, and it gets you other squads that you can use in other areas as well when you're getting these characters, and then just take a progressive step. Always stay on target. I mean, if you're going to be free to play, you have to go in a certain progression to get certain characters, so you can be more effective in the raids and other aspects of the game. Arena, things of that nature, and there's a cumulative effect. It'll start as you start getting stuff done. You can start focusing on other things. So yeah, stay on target. I mean, again, if you're missing...
I'll make this point really quick. We've never argued, at least I don't think any of us have argued, that free-to-play players deserve every single character the first go-around.
No, never have.
That's never been our argument. Our argument has always been based on their business model, how they're isolating people, making it more and more difficult, increasing the cost, and then making it so that certain people can't even do it with minimal spending, and so people are feeling like discouraged. It's never been about everyone being able to get it the first time around. It's never been about getting a participation trophy or anything like that.
It's never been about that.
Well, it's also never been about, like, we don't bash whales. You know, you guys are what's paying to keep the game going, you know? But it's just the practice that we have issues with,
right?
You know?
Stay on target. It's the main message. Next question.
Thoka question. Any idea on why HK-47 doesn't have the Old Republic tag?
No idea. I have really no idea. I mean, he kills meat bags and is a big integral part of that whole story arc. No idea.
So did he make HK-47 after he was a Jedi? Or before?
He didn't make HK-47.
Yeah.
He's a companion that you meet along the way.
Right.
Oh, okay. Was this after he had kind of worked in through the Mandalorian War on the light side? Or
no, this is after...
You meet him shortly after... Was it the second planet that you meet him on, I think?
Yeah, I think after Morbin... It's a long time since I played KOTOR. He's along that story arc where you pick up...
I'm wondering if it's maybe afterwards that they're going to start adding more tags, especially to the dark side for the next stage of Revan.
Sure.
So that may be, because they do have HK with the dark side tag,
possible.
Right?
Yeah.
So it could be with the next stage of Revan when they give a dark side Revan that they're going to include his tag. Maybe even Visas Mar. Visas Mar was the one suggested by Loki, which I think would be helpful for a lot of people. But
yeah.
Yeah. Next question.
Fine Mock. No, we're skipping that one because it's Revan related.
I think it's been answered.
Well, you don't need to skip them just as long as they're won't start us arguing
enough
again.
of a break from an argument. Let's get another one in here. Let's go.
Okay, fine. Fine Mock question. Does Disney have anything to do with pay to play?
Of course. It does. So one thing to kind of just keep in mind, right? And we've gone over this before. CG, or let's put it this way. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes makes a lot of money, right? But there's licensing costs to the whole Star Wars franchise. And so there is licensing that goes out of this game that goes to Lucas and then goes to EA because they run it, and then also Disney as a result of Lucas. So
let's also not forget that for every dollar you put in, Google or Apple are making a 30-70 split.
Right.
So there's a 30-70 split that happens first, right?
And then everyone else gets their hands on the money.
And then everyone else gets their hands on the money. I mean, I don't know how many of you people deal with regular dealings before, but I've had this before where someone thinks that someone makes a bunch of money, and it almost doesn't matter what it is. The car dealer, car manufacturer, home builder, realtor, whatever it is. Somebody thinks somebody is just rolling in the money. I am going to tell you that more than likely, by the time it actually gets to the people that are doing the development, like to CG proper, I'm just talking after everyone is sliced onto it, they are probably getting 15 cents on the dollar. They are not getting more than 30 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet you there's at least one dude over at EA going, excellent.
EA is different. So we're talking about
here's the thing how with the Disney bit.
He's talking about CG though.
Yeah,
EA
I know.
is going to get a cut. Lucas is going to get a cut. Disney's going to get a cut. They're getting a cut based on the work of CG. So they're also getting kind of free money because they own the license to Star Wars and different aspects of it.
And we already know that we already know what Apple and Google's cut is. It's 30%.
Yeah.
So for every dollar you put into the game, 30% of it goes to Apple or Google. 70% of it actually makes it back to EA. And how the contract works, it's probably something like 50% to Disney, more than likely. It's probably something like 50% to Disney. It's probably something like...
No, that's a flat amount.
It's
not percentages.
I'm sure it's a percentage. I'm sure it's a percentage and not a flat amount. Because if it was a flat amount, then they would have to pay whether or not the game is profitable. Now, it may have a floor. It may say you're going to pay us $35 million every year, and you're also going to pay us a percentage. But I can almost guarantee you it's not some little flat amount. The flat amount deals were like back in the 70s, man. no more flat amount.
It's going to be a percentage on transaction or something like that.
Yes, it's a transactional percentage. And you still know Lucas is making a cut on the deal, and then you still got freaking EA making a cut on the deal on top of it, which
that's why you see companies like Disney. The reason why they're getting away from some of the stuff that they're doing and creating their own channels because they were losing profits to like Netflix,
Comcast.
Comcast, things of that nature. So if they can cut out the middleman, create their own streaming service and stuff, then they can just get rid of all that and get more of the profits itself. So, but anytime you have any licensing from Disney and Lucas to whether it's Battlefront through EA or CG through EA, there's always going to be a percentage that goes back to those companies.
Yeah, so it's not CG making the millions and millions that people are thinking of. Actually, they're getting a very
minimal. They are, but they're not seeing all that money. They're not seeing all that money. Still making a nice profit though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we know what this game makes, right? Because EA is a public company and they do earnings calls, and they have said that in the last year that Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes made 27% of their mobile earnings, which if you kind of dive down through the numbers, it's $227 million.
That's it. Plus,
I mean, we know what this game makes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's still a lot of money, right? That's still, I mean, even at 15%, even between 15 and 30%, that's still a lot of money going back to CG, which is the reason why you've seen the number of. You'll notice that there are, whenever you see the dev interviews, you'll notice you see a lot of new faces that you hear a lot of new names that you haven't heard before. The reason why you're able to hear a lot of new names is because there are more people on the team today than there were 2.5 years ago.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like crazy excuses.
And also because they're working on a new game.
Yes, they are.
According to the website.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also interns as well that only work there.
They work for free. Let's joke around.
Well, internships are important. All right.
Crack that whip. Next question.
Oh, okay. Who questioned what gear level should IPD be for the special mission in Tier 6 of Darkside Territory battles?
9.
Have him at 7-star and gear 8.
9. Minimum 9.
9.
It's 9.
You might want the Zeta too.
By the way,
I didn't have the Zeta, and I'm able to beat it. So I did notice a big difference between 8 and 9 when I did it, and I beat it the last couple times with a Gear 9 probe droid. So.
Yeah. By the way, Grim Insanely, it's already like 1:30. We'll answer more questions, but I just want to make sure you guys aren't late for anything.
I'm fine now. That keep going.
Don't get in trouble, seriously, Grim.
Okay. Kleb Zero, question any ETA on the Revan kit. It's probably gonna release tonight sometime.
Soon, TM.
Yeah,
it may very well release in 30 minutes, and if we're still streaming, we may cover it.
Oh, I mean, Jesus.
We're almost at 2:00, which is their typical release time. So, yeah.
Joyson, question. I have a Zeta Holdo. Do you think we'll ever get her capital ship with a special suicide attack in the near future?
That'd be amazing.
Yes, we'll eventually get her ship that runs out of fuel.
And suicides.
And gets blown up. And then she'll take over. Then General Leia will come out, and then they'll both have a synergy to where Leia will disappear, and Holdo will hop on her ship, and then she'll gain the suicide attack.
Amazing.
They should have kept that neutral bug. Because if you remember, the reason they dropped they didn't put neutral on T3 was because they was considering T3 a ship. They should have done that with the Princess Leia. So we could have got a ship like Princess Leia that just flies into a ship. The Imperial probe droid of ships.
Kazakagi, too easy. Question, can we bring back the mature stream on Saturdays? I'll be the host.
Give it
There is an alternative for you.
Yeah.
How about you talk about it?
Yeah, the mature stream is no longer on RSG. Ouchie and myself have taken up the I wouldn't really say it's a mantle.
The mantle, the hood.
Of running a adult-oriented late-night stream where we kick back, get trashed, do Mad Libs, sometimes talk about the game.
Uh-huh.
But it's It's called Galaxy After Hours. I'll post a link to it here in a second. But yeah, it's pretty much the same old, same old. Sometimes Ranger shows up. I'm trying to get Finn and Tits to show up, but they're busy all the time, but that's okay. But yeah, it's same old mature stream as before. But here, I'll get a link for you here in a second.
There you go.
Okay, so we got 7 questions related to Revan.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Now I guess we can get to that. King Felix question, why did Finn create Jedi Revan? It's all his fault.
God damn it, Finn, why did you do this?
Because there was no roads in order for me to tell about evil, because I told Grim to delete the roads.
That's
so I
right.
couldn't get the Darth Revan plans to CG in time. Thanks for deleting the roads, Grim. Next question.
Okay, Kazakagi Tuizi question, can a Ranger blame Finn for secretly helping CG plan this Revan event so quickly?
He did, son of a...
Next question.
Sith Gorilla question, do you think we'll get any kind of response from CG in regards to the community backlash over Revan?
I don't know.
It'll probably be in the lines of we're sorry, we won't do it again, and
No.
No.
I don't think
6
I
months
don't think
later
we're
we'll
gonna get
do it again.
No.
I don't think you're going to get anything.
No.
This was a calculated business decision. They don't think they have anything to apologize for. And right now, the people that are complaining because they think that the cadence is too short, right? What will tell them whether it was too short is going to be how much money they make. That's going to be the final deciding factor. They're not going to apologize before that.
No.
There's nothing to apologize for.
No.
So the only way to do it is to not spend money on it. And that's up to each individual person. So you guys can decide how you want to handle that. But unless it shows up that they made a mistake monetarily and they don't capitalize as much on Revan as they could, and we already know Ranger would have spent his arm and leg for a real Revan.
I would have sacrificed you, Finn, for that. The true version of Revan. I would have found a way. I'd be pissed, but I would have found a way. Damn it.
So there's definitely people not spending over the way they're releasing. The question is how much of an impact is that versus how much people are willing to spend that little bit of extra. So unless it hits the pocketbook, no, there's not. I doubt there's going to be an apology of any way.
No.
There might be we're sorry you feel this way, but here is why we do it type of post, but that's not an apology.
Eric H. question, is CG going to give us crazy excuses?
I wish. I miss Crazy.
Crazy was fun to hang out with.
She's amazing.
I haven't talked to her in a little while. I need to. It was fun hanging out with her in Sacramento.
But yeah, I'm glad she's doing very, very well. We are proud of Miss Crazy Excuses. She's amazing.
Mr. Pennypinch question, who knew Grande was CG's PR guy?
We've known that for a long time. There's a reason why we call him CG Grande.
Oh my God! Look, you guys have seen me upset before. It has happened, and it has happened.
He posted this even before this whole disagreement. With the first question.
Yeah.
No, well, but I mean, you've seen me think that the right direction, wrong direction, that they're wrong directioning it, and I've said it multiple times. I just don't happen to think this is one of them.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Helenix, okay, go ahead.
It's all right. Go back and read some of the other streams. I've actually ranted harder than Ranger before.
I know, it's weird.
Mm-hmm. Helenix, question, I'm getting a bit tired of the folks who say you can get your KOTOR to 7 stars if you're free to play, followed by if you buy the XYZ pack. Can you explain what free to play means to these people?
No, free to play means you hoard your resources so then you can spend them at different times on stuff that you want.
Well, free to play just means you don't spend money on the game.
Right. How you handle your resources is different.
It's like Urban says, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, it's that free to play mobile game because I don't pay for this shit. The word pay, no money.
Yeah.
Paul Bracamonte, question, playing Devil's Advocate, what's the difference between this and Rex and Sunfac back in the day? Do you feel the price is just too high? Do whales like Grande feel price gouged?
We said those were awful back in the day too, where you had to full chromium farm God damn, those are awful.
Yeah, I did quite a lot of that.
Full chromium or erodium? Man, that was some hard crap back in the day, my friends.
Yeah.
We commented about that stuff too. Those were blatant, obvious like money thing. I was surprised you guys spent as much as you did, like the whales back then. Holy crap, you guys spent a lot.
Oh man, the amount we had to spend was crazy.
I don't want to. I think he did it on the stream, but he mentioned it afterwards too. Didn't Ramon spend like 10,000 or something in order to get Maul when he was chromium only?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was
He was chromium only, and I think he spent a little over $2,000 to get Maul.
God, it was awful. Just chromium after chromium, hoping for Maul. It was awful. Yeah, the old system is definitely bad, but they've already changed that. So now we're basing it on the current system. It has.
This just feels like they're slowly trying to get back to making it that way, though. When you think about it,
I don't know about that.
Bad. I won't even go that.
No, I won't.
It was not that. It's not as bad as back then.
Yeah.
No way.
No, no, it's not. You know, it's different. It's totally different. And but yeah, they're not going back to that version.
Yeah.
Andrew Sweeney, question: anyone mention that they pretty blatantly have deviated from how they said these events would work? They said that we'd get a 2-week notice and double drops, and we might get double drops, but we didn't get 2-week notice.
Yeah, you got 2 weeks notice before the end of the event.
You did. You got a 2 weeks notice before the end of the event, and effectively, double the number of nodes and half price on refreshing is effectively just like double drops.
Yep. Don't forget the event, while it's listed as October 18th, which is a whole different issue, by the way, which was annoying, that they edited in the October 18th after the original post. I'm just going to throw that out there, too. That was kind of annoying, because I read the post. There was no October 18th the first time, and then like a few minutes later, they added the event is coming in October 18th. Stupidity. But with that, the event will last, assuming everything stays according to course, is going to last a week. And so it's about 2 weeks from when they announced it that the event will end. So technically,
I think the guys at CG have been watching too much Total Recall, because this 2 weeks thing is getting old.
2 weeks. Kleb Zero, question: may I get your humble opinion on where you think most free-to-play guilds are at as far as Heroic Sith Triumvirate raid? We just cleared T6 with the changes, and I feel like we're still a while out. Are we behind the pack?
No. If you're talking about most free-to-play players, right, you're going to encompass not only the veteran players, but also the newer players, right? So chances are the average is somewhere in the range of a tier 5, with a lot of, I would still say the majority of players, like the high percentage of players, only pick up this game a couple of times, casually do some attacks. They're in a super, super casual guild down towards the bottom of like tier 3. But on average for free-to-play, I would assume that it's somewhere around the tier 5, tier 6 range.
Yeah, especially with the changes they made recently, it's going to really start pushing those guilds into higher tiers and into the heroic faster, because it's just easier to get faster into that, the heroic range.
There is a big difference. So free-to-play just describes your spending style, right? That doesn't really describe anything else about your in-game. So you have free-to-play that have played this game now for 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, and then you have free-to-play that started a year ago. So free-to-play is really, really wide in terms of what you're trying to encompass. What you would need to do is figure out where free-to-play that have started a particular time ago. So I would compare myself to people that have played starting about 2.5 years ago. Are you somebody that's free-to-play that started a year ago? So then you should be comparing to that, right? Free-to-play is just too big a definition. It describes play style in terms of spending and doesn't describe progression in the game. And I think that's where some of the confusion comes in, right? It may describe how you accumulate a character, but it doesn't describe progression in game. And so there's a strict difference there in how to use free-to-play.
Okay, last question. Who Question: if there's this much backlash about light side Revan, what do you think dark side Revan is going to be like?
Depends on how they release them.
Depends how many players are still playing at that time.
We have never
We're going to need 7-star Treya.
Well, we have never seen what a second return of the next version of a journey hero looks like.
Yeah,
It's also not a journey. Just for reference, it's not the hero's journey that we're used to.
Yeah, it's a different kind of thing.
It's a different type of event that has the word journey in it, which I think people are confusing because it's this release is more equivalent to a legendary than it is a hero's because there's no legendary involved. It's just 5 straight characters, which mimics much more a legendary than anything else. It's called the Ancient Journey of Redemption, but it's not a journey like CLS or Jedi Training Grey. So better comparison is against legendary.
Yeah, well, but whenever we have a journey character, which this guy will become, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we have a second return of a journey character, we don't know what the criteria look like for that.
Yeah,
we don't have any of those in game, right? We don't have a single second journey yet. So CLS in December will tell us.
Oh my God! Wow!
When all else fails, blame Finn.
Pretty much.
Damn right. If you see Jedi Luke in December, it's my fault.
Yeah, I think most of us here. Me, Grondy, and Finn are November 2016.
No, I'm January 20. I'm January. I started 1 month after the start. Mine was January 1st.
And I'm January of 2016.
I'm day 1.
There you go.
I think I joined like November. I think it was November of 16, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I took a big break for a while because I wasn't. That was before I found the community. So.
And now you're stuck.
And mistakes were made. No.
All right, so that is our stream for today. We went over, but it was important. So hopefully, the decisions about Revan, you either feel one way about it or you feel another way. So let's be respectful of that, guys. But if you like what you see, make sure you give us a thumbs up, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so know when we're live streaming. I'll do some Battlefront tonight. Finn may do some Mega Man here soon. Let's see if I can hang out with Finn.
Oh, I'll give a shout out here to Mario Fernandez, who donated $75 to our GoFundMe. So thank you very much.
Nice,
thank you. Very nice.
Thank you very much,
man.
good sir.
That puts us over the halfway point.
Yay!
Now, if only Apple will go up. Okay.
The stock market's been kind of sucking tits in. Finn's doing investments in stock.
Stay thirsty, my friend.
Grande, I don't always agree with Finn and Ranger, but when I do, I drink Dos Equis. And if you haven't checked out our GoFundMe, please go check out our GoFundMe. You can find the page in the link below and multiple places, and you can help us go raise money for cancer. So that's always good. And then, yes, shows I do have a.
You mean raise money to fight cancer, not in favor of cancer, right?
What do you mean?
We said raise money for cancer.
Like we're gonna spread cancer.
I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm trying to get more cancer to everybody.
That's awful.
Wait.
Side note on that. If you go to our
They
Discord,
know what they meant.
I know. We have a channel in ours called Community Announcements. If you guys don't know, one of the original RSG, Sith Lord Stu, he unfortunately had thyroid cancer. And he had surgery. He put up a video. I put the link in the Community Announcements channel. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely go and check it. Check out the video. He talks about what's happened to him. He has a lot of medical bills and stuff. So he also has a GoFundMe there.
Yes.
The link is in the channel for Community Announcements. So check out his video. You can go there and just give him a shout out. He's trying to get his channel kind of up and working again. He's a great musician. He's getting ready.
That dude can play the guitar so well.
And he's actually very soon, I don't think he's done it yet, but he's planning on doing a live stream where he's going to try and play the guitar for the first time after his surgery. And he had thyroid surgery, so he has like a cut from his left ear, like all the way through his midline neck, where they had to get rid of his thyroid and then a bunch of lymph nodes and everything where it had spread. So he's about to make a really big recovery here and start playing the guitar again. So make sure that you guys go to Stu's. His channel is called Stu's World. Stu apostrophe S, Stu's World. And make sure that you guys subscribe to him. Hit the bell for him as well, so you guys can see when he live streams for the first time after his surgery.
Oh yeah!
And if you guys can as well, his GoFundMe is listed in the community announcements channel as well.
We're doing what we can, folks. So on behalf of myself and the RSG crew, thank you guys for stopping by. Remember, we'll have some more streams later on for you guys, hopefully. If not, then definitely check us out tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We will be doing the Jedi Academy, where we bring the best and brightest game changers and YouTubers together, and then sprinkle in a little mental damage that is known as RSG. And it's a straight Q&A show, so make sure you check that out tomorrow as well. All right, everyone have a great rest of your day, and we will holler at you later tonight and tomorrow. Peace.